Good evening. It is time for the Wednesday edition of the Iman Report. It is Wednesday, December the 9th. And this week we are going to preview NFL Week 14. And on top of that tonight, we are actually going to preview the NHL. Today the NHL is in a tentative agreement to a 52 game season to play hockey. There will be temporary division alignments due to the border being closed between United States and Canada. Travel will likely be restricted to regional travel this year. Scheduling is almost going to be very similar to what Major League Baseball dealt with this last year. So you're going to get a lot of regional games. So you might get a lot of Penguins, Flyers, Capitals, Flyers, Islanders, Rangers. Those types of games you're going to see this year. A lot more regional games to cut down on travel with COVID in mind. The first part of the year could be difficult until the players start getting vaccinated, probably sometime around January, February. Probably by March or April, you could start seeing fans at a lot of the barns. So this is going to get interesting. But let's take a look at all the Canadian teams will be in their own division because the border being closed. That comes to no surprise. In your Eastern Division for 1 year, the Metro, it will be the Sabres, the Bruins, the Sabres, the Devils, the Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, Penguins, and Capitals. This is tentative. This is not final. Your Central Division for this year, the Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, Blackhawks, Panthers, Wild, Predators, and Lightning. And your Pacific Division for 2021, Ducks, Coyotes, Avalanche, Stars, Kings, Sharks, Blues, and Knights. The big issue for the Sharks is probably for the first maybe month or so, they're not going to be able to play in Santa Clara County due to the ban to contact sports. There are rumors that they will play probably in Alameda County at the Oakland Arena, the former home of the Golden State Warriors. So that's where right now the tentative plan is. Another possibility is Cow Palace in Daly City. But I am just happy to have hockey back. I'll keep you up to date as this becomes more final, but they are reaching a tentative agreement to start the hockey season on January the 13th. In bad news, it looks like the Ohio State Michigan game is canceled due to COVID-19. This also might likely spell the end of Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh is going to get hired by an NFL team in 2021. Jim Harbaugh has pretty much burnt his bridges in both leagues. If he takes a job, it might be Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to be a top candidate for a lot of these upcoming coaching vacancies in 2021. So we'll see if Harbaugh ends up coming back to the NFL, takes a step down in college, or possibly takes a year off. But with Ohio State, we'll see if they're allowed to play in the Big Ten championship game or not. The college football playoff could be in jeopardy too. LA County is not exact. LA County, one of the sites for the college football playoff, is not in a good state right now. There is an exponential spread of COVID-19 down in LA County where the Rose Bowl is, and honestly, there has to start being talks about possibly pushing back the college football playoff to after the Super Bowl. Maybe you do that. Maybe you plan to move back the college football playoff until after the Super Bowl, and maybe you quarantine the 4 teams in the playoff and cancel the rest of the bowl games at this point. I don't think I really don't think there's really a point to playing a lot of these bowl games this year with COVID as widespread as it is. I think it's pretty much time to start really wrapping up college football at this point. It's just not been a good year for the NCAA. It's time to call it a wash. NFL doing a bit better with the COVID issue. Let's preview NFL Week 14. Let's start off with, of course, the Thursday night game, the New England Patriots against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, the 5-point favorites at home at SoFi. Patriots were the underdogs last week. They dominated the Chargers. Cam barely broke a sweat throwing 69 yards. But here's the problem. Cam's now got to face Aaron Donald. The Rams are a much better defense than the Chargers. Granted, the Patriots have good defense. Of course, the Patriots have Bill Belichick. But the Rams have better receivers, too. They've got Robert Woods. They've got Cooper Kupp. In the end of the day, will Bill Belichick go 2-0 at SoFi Stadium? Will they dominate Are the Patriots back? Not this time. It is complete fiction. I'm taking the LA Rams. LA Rams to win, LA Rams to cover. Patriots are frauds. I'm sorry, Mitch. The Patriots are not going to win this game. The Rams are the better team on defense. I think this is going to be a fun day for Aaron Donald. He is going to give Cam Newton a beating. So yeah, Rams to win, Rams to cover. Next game on the docket, the Houston Texans against the Chicago Bears. Chicago pretty much mailing it in at this point. Trubisky has looked a bit better in this last game, and actually, Chicago ran the ball the last game. But the defense has pretty much quit on the year. Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford. Pretty much Chicago, they've quit on Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's dead man walking in Chicago. I have no confidence they're going to win this game. I have no confidence in Matt Nagy. Maybe Trubisky and Montgomery keep it close with their legs. That might be the thing that might save Chicago, is if they're able to run the ball. But this is a pick-em game. Houston's looked better the last few weeks. I'm taking the Texans. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers, the 6.5-point favorites. Tampa Bay coming off a bye. Tom Brady probably going to be much better after resting. I don't remember the last time Tom Brady has had a 3-game losing streak. The good news for the Buccaneers is they get a step down in competition in Minnesota. Minnesota barely escaped against a 1-win Jacksonville team this last week. Minnesota right now in the wild card as the 7 seed as of this point. 7 could now be a 7-9 team in the NFC at this point. Minnesota's not going to win this game. I think this is a game where Tampa gets right. It's where Tom Brady gets right. Tampa wins. Tampa covers. In Jacksonville, the Titans, after losing to the Brownies, take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wonder, is it Mike Glenn or is it Gardner Minshew this week? It's going to be Glennon again. So it will be Gardner Minshew's the backup, but Glennon's going to start again for Jacksonville. It's going to be a long game for Jacksonville. Titans are 7-point favorites. Titans win it. Titans cover. Titans get back on track. In Cincinnati, it's the Dallas Cowboys against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati can't keep a quarterback healthy. I think they are back to Ryan Finley this week. Okay, that's good. It looks like it's going to be Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's healthy enough. But now it's going to be Andy Dalton playing his former team. This is probably one of the worst games of the week. This might be a game where Ezekiel Elliott looks like the old Ezekiel Elliott. I think this is going to be a good game for Ezekiel Elliott to go off and run the football. Who's the favorite in this game? Okay, yeah, Dallas, the 3.5-point favorites. Dallas wins. Dallas covers. Now on to the Meadowlands, where you've got the Arizona Cardinals going up against the New York Giants. The New York Giants coming off a big win in Seattle where their defense shut down Russell Wilson. Now they get a similar type of quarterback in Kyler Murray. Minus the fact that Kyler cannot throw the football as good as Russell Wilson. Kyler has to depend on his legs. The bad news is New York is good at shutting down mobile quarterbacks. So that's going to force them to use they might have to use Kenyon Drake. They're going to have to use their Larry. This is going to be a game where they need Larry Fitzgerald to go off. This is also a game where they need DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk to do some magic. Problem is now we are seeing why Cliff Kingsbury is a mediocre head coach. He was mediocre at Texas Tech. He was fired after 4 years. Kingsbury is trending down. He might be wasting Kyler's talent. Defenses have got on to the Kingsbury system. Kingsbury is a fraud. He's a bum! And bums lose. And I think this is going to be, give me New York. New York's going to pull the upset. Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites. Give me the New York Giants. I think lightning is going to strike twice for the New York Giants. They get the win over the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are frauds. Now we get the Denver Broncos against the Carolina Panthers. This could be a game where Panthers are 3.5-point favorites. We're going to find the Broncos are a bipolar team. Drew Lock, a bipolar quarterback. You don't know what you're going to get week from week out of Drew Lock. But the good news for the Broncos, Carolina can't stop the run. This could be a good game for Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay to go off and run the football. It's all going to come down to the Denver defense. But in the end, Carolina plays for Matt Rule. Carolina's going to get the win. And Carolina to cover. In Miami, Tua gets to go. This is the first Tua versus Mahomes battle in Miami. we're going to find out how good this Dolphins defense is against Patrick Mahomes. Can they slow down Mahomes? This could be a statement game for Brian Flores. Unfortunately, Tua's not quite there yet. Tua's a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. Can Tua survive by being a game manager? Can they minimize mistakes? But the Miami defense has to be great to shut down the Chiefs. Miami's a playoff team. I think Miami will make the dance this year. But maybe this is a little too soon for the Dolphins to beat the Chiefs. Chiefs, the 7-point favorites. Chiefs win. Chiefs cover. Another big game in Las Vegas. The Indianapolis Colts against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders! Playing the Colts. Colts, the 3-point favorites. Derek Carr has not looked good in his last 2 games. Carr has struggled. He's thrown turnovers. He's made some mistakes. The bad news, too, is they're without Josh Jacobs, I think, for the 2nd week in a row. So that hurts Carr when he does not have Jacobs to run the football. And the defense, Paul Guenther's defense has been atrocious. They almost lost to the New York Jets. Their defense is atrocious right now. This is going to be a game where I think the T.Y. Hilton's going to go off. Phillip Rivers is going to go off. The Colts defense is going to shut down Carr. This could be a very long day for the Raiders. Colts the 3-point favorites. Colts win. Colts cover. And I think after this week, we are pretty much saying goodbye to the Raiders' playoff hopes. And I think it'll be time to say goodbye to Paul Guenther. The New York Jets against the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks, the 13.5-point favorites against the Jets. They get a good week to play the Jets after losing at home to the New York Giants. I think the Seahawks are going to be pissed. The Seahawks are going to look to take their anger out on the Jets. The Jets picked the wrong time to go to Seattle. Seattle's going to win. Seattle's going to cover that game. Next up, the Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. Packers, the 7.5-point favorites in this game. You get Matthew Stafford. Can Matthew Stafford pull another big win like they did last week? Nah. Green Bay has manhandled teams they are supposed to beat this year. The teams they are supposed to beat, they're good at dismantling those teams. I think this is going to be another easy day, another day in the office for Aaron Rodgers. They're going to take care of business. Packers win. Packers cover. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons against the Los Angeles Chargers. Atlanta looking better as of late. Atlanta, the 2.5-point favorites over the Chargers. The Chargers have pretty much quit on Anthony Lynn. I am very surprised Anthony Lynn still has a job this week. He should have been fired last week after getting demolished by the Patriots. Atlanta is probably going to have this is going to be a good game for Matt Ryan. If there's any solstice to this game, is that this should be a better game for Justin Herbert. But still, the Chargers defense is ass. Give me Atlanta. Atlanta's going to win this game. Atlanta's going to cover. Next up, the Washington football team against the San Francisco 49ers. Washington coming off a big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Washington's looked better with Alex Smith at quarterback. The Washington defense has looked great the last few weeks. All of a sudden, the NFC East might get a team in the wild card. Believe it or not. Washington, I think, is 5-7. I think that if I'm right. Yeah, 5-7. Washington's 5-7. Don't count out. All of a sudden the NFC least might get a team in the wild card hunt here. Washington and New York tied for first. Washington, New York, one game out of the wild card. Washington's just a game out of the wild card at this point. Never say never. You got San Francisco. They still got a puncher's chance. They didn't. I expect the defense this week to come back strong against Washington. Alex Smith is not Jake Allen. So I think the Niners defense is going to be good. Who's favorite in this game? San Francisco, the 3-point favorites, 0.5-point favorites. Niners win if Mostert and Wilson can run the ball. You don't know what you're going to get week to week out of Nick Mullins. I think though San Francisco's going to win this game. San Francisco wins. I'm not confident they'll cover, but I think this is a must-win for San Francisco. I think San Francisco gets the victory. Now you get the New Orleans Saints against the Philadelphia Eagles. With Philadelphia starting Jalen Hurts at quarterback this week. Jalen Hurts, your starter. Onto the bench goes Carson Wentz. Unfortunately for Doug Peterson, it's too little too late. But I think both the Eagles and Doug Peterson are likely going to part ways at the end of the season. So you're probably going to see Jalen Hurts for the final 4 games. I don't think the Eagles are going to give up on Carson Wentz. This is maybe where Arthur Smith comes in and maybe does his magic with Carson Wentz in 2021. I would not stick a fork in Carson Wentz just yet. But the bad news is they're playing the Saints. Even with Taysom Hill starting, this defense is bad. This is going to be another easy game for the Saints. They're going to make quick work of Jalen Hurts. Saints defense is just nobody talks about the Saints defense, how great Dennis Allen is. 6.5-point favorites. Saints win, Saints cover. In Buffalo, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. This could be a very exciting game. Josh Allen against Big Ben. The Bills' defense is why I think they might lose this game. Bills are 2-point favorites. This is a pick'em game. This is really a pick'em game. Big Ben has struggled as of late. They might get Connor back. That might help out the Steelers getting Connor back. I'm going to go Steelers. I am going to go Steelers in this game, but I'm not confident about this one. Last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens against the Cleveland Brownies. Baltimore looked a lot better against Dallas. Lamar looked better against Dallas. Are they going to make it on a run here? I don't know. Cleveland's looked much better as of late. Cleveland took care of business against the Titans last week. Cleveland smells blood. Cleveland smells playoffs. You know what, Cleveland? I dub you a playoff contender. Who is the favorite in this game? The Ravens, the 1.5-point favorites. My pick, Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. That's right, Brownies. You are beating the Ravens this Monday night. I am picking you, Brownies. You've earned my respect, Cleveland. So enjoy playoff football in Cleveland this year. That's all I have for tonight. We'll be back Saturday night to recap UFC 256. Everybody have a good night.